When I first started my PhD, I was terrified of making mistakes. And it took me quite a long time to make sure that I can sort of make peace with myself and allow myself to not be perfect the first time around, to make mistakes, to try, to play a little bit with my research. And why I want to share this with you is that because I found something quite interesting that happened, actually something from my experience as a PhD student. I made this huge mistake once that I was so overworked, I was so overwhelmed with everything, and we were waiting for data from our collaborators. And once the data finally arrived, I had like a few days to analyze it all and to make sure that it went again to the collaborators so they can do further analysis with it. So I remember being there, staring at my screen at around 1 a.m. You know what, that feeling when you are so overworked, you're so stressed and you just want the thing to be done. And I remember I was watching the lines of code execute one by one and thinking, okay, I just need this final piece and then finally this will be done. And then at some point I saw, like when the analysis already went through, I saw that the numbers were not matching, which basically meant that instead of that I missed one row of the data frame, which of course meant that the entire analysis had to be done again because it was not correct. And I remember staring at that at 1 a.m. I was saying just, okay, I cannot do this anymore. I'm so overworked, so overwhelmed and so tired. And I just cannot do that over and over again. It basically, so fast forward, I mean, now I can speak about it because I'm sort of detached from that feeling, but back then it was quite a big deal. And it sort of made my research progress around 3 months slower. So it took us around 3 months to figure out how to fix it and how to make sure that it doesn't happen again and so on. But the bottom line here is why it happened. After some time, I started reflecting of why did this thing even happen, and I realized that the problem wasn't like the mistake per se. The problem was that I was so overworked. I was so like my notes were so scattered. My mind was extra cluttered. So it makes sense that when you are in this state, you are not really a creative sparkle. You are trying to survive, and you are basically trying to put fires as they are all around you, put fires down as they are all around you, and just to try to make sure that you survive it and that you can move on to the next thing on your to-do list. And this is exactly what I see happening with many of my clients. Like they are so overworked, so exhausted that they do not know what is their next step. And more often than not, what paralyzes their work, and I remember it paralyzed me a lot, was not the work itself that needed to be done, the analysis, the coding, the writing, the presenting, but not having this clear structure of how something is supposed to be done. Like, okay, what am I going to do today? I'm going to do this analysis and it's going to take, 6 hours, and this other thing that is then going to be followed by this thing and so on. Because I thought very naively that I didn't need that structure because it was actually was making me lose time, and I needed that time desperately to make sure my analysis meet the deadlines that were imposed. And as I said, I see this happening with my clients time and time again, like brilliant STEM professionals that have these things like half finished papers, half done presentations, half like projects that are somehow in the middle of nothing. They're sort of started, but not quite half done, but not continued. And they're in the limb, they're situation of, okay, are we going to pursue this or not, and so on. And those people, when you ask them what is the reason for that, what they tell you is that they just don't have time. And I always sort of remind them that it's not the time issue. Of course, I do not believe that everyone has the same 24 hours in a day, but I do believe that it is more often than not a time issue, but a structure issue. Because if you put together all the minutes and all the hours that you spend thinking about doing the task instead of actually doing it, I would definitely say that you would get things done, I would say at least 50% faster. And this is because you are missing this essential part of structure in the chaos. Like everything feels so messy, everything feels so overwhelming that sometimes it's very hard for us to see the end goal and to see what is the purpose of everything that we are doing. And then mistakes happen. We get into burnout, we are stuck, we don't know, we get in this procrastination that I feel is the worst kind of procrastination, like knowing you have to do something, not doing it, feeling guilty about it, and then still not doing it. Like there are many, there is probably no worse feeling when it comes to your work and having to get something done than this one. So I help STEM professionals do exactly that. Put some structure in the chaos. Make sure that they see how the project is going to get done. To make sure they see how they are going to structure their thoughts in a way that they can communicate them to the audience in a way that is meaningful and in a way that it brings value to them and both to the people who are rewarding them for it. So I want to invite you, having said that, I want to invite you to a completely free coaching call with me that you can schedule on the link below, where we can go through those bottlenecks together, through those bottlenecks that you are facing in your project, in your communication, in your research, in your STEM work in general. Because I do believe that the root problem of all of those consequences, like lack of communication skills, lack of organization skills, lack of, time management, they're all based in the same thing, and that is the way you structure the things that have to happen on your to-do list. So I hope that you found this video useful, and as always, see you in the next few days with another video. Bye bye.